In 1963, brothers Santos and Cayetano Hernandez, a pair of petty criminals, devised a scam to swindle the population of the small, farming town of Yerba Buena. They proclaimed themselves high priests of the old Inca gods, and that they would bring bountiful harvests and treasure to the town in exchange for donations, food, and sometimes sex. When the harvest and treasures failed to turn up, the villagers began to grow angry and suspicious. So the brothers went to Monterrey in search of a prostitute they could pay to act the part of a goddess in the farce, and made contact with Magdalena. What no one counted on was that Magdalena was insane and would quickly come to believe that she was indeed the priestess of the blood god. Only days after her arrival, Magdalena took over the cult and sacrificed 2 of the townsfolk. More human sacrifices followed, and Magdalena began to drink the blood of the victims. She forced the Hernandez brothers to drink too, and soon they came to believe that she really was the awakened Inca god, Coatlic. For 6 weeks straight, they butchered and consumed victims, with the surviving townsfolk sharing in the feast and blood orgies that followed. Only Magdalena was allowed to eat the hearts of the victims. In the middle of May, a 14-year-old kid named Sebastian Guerrero from a neighboring town investigated the weird fires and shouting coming from the cavern temple and saw dozens of people near naked, covered in blood, cutting themselves and eating the flesh of corpses, impaled on pikes and scattered around the altars. On foot, he ran over 25 kilometers to the nearest police station and reported what he'd seen. The police did not take him seriously, but sent Officer Luis Martinez to take him back to the scene to make sure nothing was going on, and then drive him home. Neither of them were ever seen alive again. When Officer Martinez didn't come back, the rest of the police force called in backup. Upon arrival, they were attacked by the cultists, who had somehow attained obsidian knives and blades. Despite their ferocity, the officers managed to gun down most of them, and were able to arrest what remained. They found the boy, Sebastian, dead on an altar. His heart had been eaten. The officer had been dismembered, and one of the Hernandez brothers had also been mutilated and partially eaten. Solis, her remaining priests, and 12 of the townsfolk were brought to trial on 13 June 1963. Each of them received a prison sentence of 30 years, except Solis, who was sentenced to 50 years in prison. Solis still lives to this day. She has never recanted her belief that she is the avatar of Coatlic, the blood god.